Well, hello, friends. So, I have a question for you. Have you ever been thanking the Lord over a meal and just got overwhelmed where you felt like you couldn't even eat? That by the time you got done, you were so overwhelmed with gratitude, and that the thoughts of how amazing God had provided for you and how many people had been a part of His provision for your life, that it just overwhelmed you. I mean, I'm even the afterthought and the energy behind that is still right now, still coming at me like waves. So, for those of you who like to sit down with a nice salad, and you think about what was in that salad, you had carrots and cabbage and lettuce, maybe two different kinds of lettuce, tomatoes and cucumbers and onions and olives and cheese. And think about all of the fields that those vegetables had to come out of. And then farmers that had to plant the seed, workers that had to water them, the tending that had to go to that, the harvesting that had, the workers that had to take it from one place to the other, the store clerks that had to check it in, the inspections that had to be done with it, the produce processing that had to be done to get it out into the shelves, and then taking it from the shelves to the cart, and then from the cart to the basket, and through the cashiering, and then finally to home, where it was prepared and placed on your table, or maybe even to a restaurant where there was another hand that blessed it and brought it to your table. Well, it makes me just, wow, super duper 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 grateful to think of how many blessings we have in our lives that we don't always think to count, and how good God is in His circle of life and in His connections and communities that He has established at the core of our being, and the labor and the lessons that we can learn on the farm from seed to table, right? Well, I was just meditating, and this is my friend has a ranch, and she has some amazing lots and lots of cattle of different kinds, but she just got a longhorn, and so this is a picture of a longhorn. And for those of you who don't know, before I came down to the coast, I was up on a farm up in the hills of Alum Rock, and had an amazing, wonderful landlord. And we had cows, and they would get out all the time, and they would be up on the lawn when you went outside. And we had a mama who would bring us her babies to see them and introduce us to them. We had a bull down the bottom, and he'd go break out all the ladies and take them on a hike. It's just different life on the farm. We had raccoons on the porch and snakes in the driveway, and all kinds of hawks that would come down and try and snatch our kittens, owls that would try and snatch our kittens. So it's a different life up on the farm. When I first got there the weekend I was painting my room to move in, I came up, and my actual roommate was gone for that weekend, and she just gave me the key. She said, go in, just paint and get things ready for next week. And so I went in, and then while I was there, this truck comes pulling up into the driveway up onto the hill that's right behind us, and they start like shooting practice, and there's like all these rifles going off. I was like, what? I was so unnerved. I was like, I don't know if I could do this. I don't know if I could live here. Because when I lived downtown in San Jose, we used to hear gunshots. But when we heard gunshots, someone was dying or someone was close to death. So it was just a different enchilada. I wasn't used to like being on the farm. But it is so funny that even by the time I left the mountain, how much I did appreciate. Like there was times where I was like, hey, call Mr. Merkley. Because I knew he'd come up with his rifle. If the coyotes had come down too far and we couldn't get them to shoo off. And there was just different reasons why you would want them around. So it gave me a new appreciation, and I did live on the farm, and I did get used to it. But and there is a place for everything, you know. But anyway, I'm saying that these were the thoughts that came to me while I was looking and painting my little longhorn. My landlord used to say, farmers live by faith. And when you think about that, like they sow a seed. So if they sow a seed, they already hope for a harvest. They already have faith. They don't just plant it in the ground thinking, well, I hope this works. No, they plant the seed. We're going to plant a seed and we're going to gather a harvest. So that's faith just in itself. So once or twice in your life, you may need a lawyer. That's the other thing that it was written. Once or twice in their life, you may need a lawyer. You might need a policeman, maybe even a doctor or a judge. But 3 times a day, you'll need a farmer. Because we eat their produce. Everybody wants to be a doctor or a policeman or a judge or a lawyer, but farmers are what we really need. Life in the field or on the farm will teach us lessons. It'll teach us lessons of patience. Patience because you can't control a plant's growth or an animal's life cycle. These things cannot be hurried. Life lessons in seasons and the sweetness of the seasons. We sow, we grow, there's wheat, then we eat. So those are some things to think about, points to ponder. Hope you have a great and glorious, love-filled and victorious day, my friends.